Hi everybody, I'm Vanessa, owner of Nuevo Photography, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do your own newborn session at home. With COVID-19, it's kind of hard to tell right now when it will be deemed safe to do newborn sessions. So I really want to give you guys a little how-to so you can create beautiful memories at home. Of course, newborns are like tiny for so little time, so it's important to really capture these photos. So hopefully I can help you guys understand stuff. If you have any questions about the session, please let me know. So to start off, I would like to talk about newborn safety. So newborn safety is really important. Please do not try to attempt any poses that I don't show you today. The poses that I'm showing you are deemed very basic and safe. There are a lot of poses in newborn photography that require very skilled photographer who knows exactly what they're doing. Some poses can actually be really unsafe with baby. For your session, I pulled out some things here, tried to find as much as I could from around my house. I do have a few things here for sale, and I will be linking as well some links as to where to find some of the wraps. I know the wraps are a lot harder to find around the house. However, if you do have fabric, you always can cut them yourself. So I will kind of show you that. So to start off, I have some scarves here that I found. So this here, we'll be using them as basket stuffers. So this here is just a really, it's like a netted scarf, and hopefully you have something like that laying around. I also have this one here. It's like a crocheted infinity scarf. I won't be using it today as it doesn't match what I pulled out here, but you can use just kind of like, you know, knitted infinity scarves, or if you're good at knitting, there you go, you can knit yourself one of these. So I use these as basket stuffers, as well as another favorite basket stuffer that I have is just little baby blankets. You know, just those little delicate knit baby blankets are adorable to use during your session. And I have another one here just for show. So this one here has little frills. So texture is always amazing in newborn photos, so just try to find stuff that you feel has really nice texture in it, nice colors that match with your session, and hopefully you can find some stuff like this around the store. So for your props, you're going to be wanting 1 or 2 props. You honestly don't have to do too much. I have this here. This is just a wooden crate, sorry, not a basket. This is a wooden crate that I got from Michael's. I think you can order online. I'm not too sure, but pretty sure you can order online at Michael's. And yeah, so you can hopefully find a wooden crate around your house. And then I also have one of these buckets. I believe it's a planter. Yes, I also got this one at Michael's. I believe it's a planter, and really good for photos, super cute. Hopefully you can order stuff like this online. General rule to know if a newborn will fit in it is to measure from your elbow to your wrist, and from that length, usually a newborn can fit in the bucket. So if I go right here, it measures perfectly. It actually measures to my hand, which is even better. You have more space to put the newborn in. So yeah, so these are the props that I'm going to be showing you today. Use any baskets, any crates, anything you can find around the house. I'm sure you probably have at least one item like this in your home. If not, Michael's hopefully delivers, so we can do that. So once you found your buckets, you can always try to find a little outfit like this online. I will link a few newborn prop vendors that you could purchase some of these cute little outfits on. I unfortunately don't sell them myself. I don't have enough time to make them. But there are so many good vendors out there. You can search Etsy, has a lot. Just do Etsy Canada and you will probably just type in newborn outfits or newborn props, such. You probably find a lot of really good stuff on there that can get shipped to your home. If not, you don't even have to worry about the outfit. Sometimes just them in their little birthday suit is just as cute. So outfits not mandatory, but you know, just try to get one if you want. As well as I have some pillows here. Again, that's kind of something that if you're crafty, maybe you can make on your own. This pillow I actually hot glue gunned. I'm going to show you the other side. It's really bad. But that side's not in the photos, so it doesn't matter. So I hot glue gunned this because I'm not a really good sewer. So yeah, just be creative. And inside here I just took the stuffing from an old pillow that I don't use. So I just took the stuffing, put it all in there, and then I hot glue gunned it together, and it works. I use it for a lot of photos. I just don't show this side, obviously. And then this one I am selling. This is a little slip cover. So there's a little hole there, and it's multicolored. So on one side there's going to be solid, and then on the other side it's going to be a print. So I have this available if you'd like to purchase with a matching wrap. Again, same thing, you can just stuff it with your own pillows if you have them, or if you want to make one, you can stuff it with your own pillow, or you can just use the stuffing in here. You just put it directly in there, and if you're good at sewing, you can sew it. Hand sew should be fine, or just leave it and it should be fine for the photos. So I have that there. Again, another item that you might be able to find online is a little bonnet. Little newborn bonnets are so cute. If you're good at knitting, again, you can probably find patterns for them online. A lot of really free ones online. I'll try to find a few and link them. So newborn bonnet, optional, of course. And then little headbands, again, optional. You can try to make your own. I don't know if you can see them from there, but I have a few of these little newborn headbands. I personally like little dainty headbands. However, if you like the bigger bows, or if you have some of your own, just use that. It's honestly up to your preference. So you do what you want to do. So I have these here, and then I also have just like burp cloths. Try to have as many on hand as you can. Sometimes if you're not going to put their diaper on, it can get a little messy. So just have a lot of these on hand, as well as I use the burp cloths. I will grab them and I will roll them up like that, like a little roll, and then I actually put them under my table. I'll show you that setup in a second. I put it under my table to support the baby's head, support their little legs. So yeah, so I use burp cloths to kind of position the babies. So these are really important to have on hand. Or just small blankets, kitchen towels, hand towels, anything like that will work. They're not going to be shown in the photos, so it doesn't matter if they're pretty. And then last but not least, I have a selection of wraps. So for the wraps, this one I actually made myself. You can just kind of buy fabric, or if you have fabric at home, and then you just cut them. So this is the wrap. The longer the better. It's easier to wrap a baby when it's a long wrap, because you can just really get them nice and snug, as well as you want to make sure that it's a two-way stretch. So this wrap stretches lengthwise and widthwise, so it gives you a really nice stretch when you're doing the baby. I do have these wraps as well that kind of match my little pillow. So I have the matching wrap. These ones aren't as stretchy, so they can be a little bit more difficult to wrap. So I always put this on the top layer of the baby. So I'll always wrap them with a stretchy one underneath, and then I do the pretty wrap on top, because usually these beautiful floral prints are next to impossible to find in a stretchy material. So unfortunately, it's what it is, and I always do that on top. I'll show you later as well what I mean. So now that we have all that set up, I'm going to show you the table. So here I just have my kitchen room table. I have a bunch of blankets layered on top so that you can see here. It's really nice and cushiony for the baby. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these burp cloths, like I said, and I'm just going to roll it up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the layers underneath. So see, it's just my kitchen table. And I have a lot of layers of blankets. I have probably, oh boy, like 6 or 7 blankets. And they're really thin blankets. If you have thicker blankets, you can always do a few thicker blankets, but these are all quite thin. So I have thin blankets here. So then what I do is I go all the way to the bottom, and I put this where I want the baby's head. So right now the lighting is coming from behind me, and you always want the baby's head facing towards the light. So I'm going to actually put this right here underneath here, so that the baby's head will be resting right here. So then I'm going to have that there, and then you're always going to want one as well to support the baby's feet. So I'm going to grab this, I'm going to roll it up, and I'm also going to put it underneath where I think the baby's feet will be. you're gonna have to adjust these when the baby's on. That's totally fine. So this fabric, I actually, again, this is just fabric I had at home. You can find this Fabricland online. Any kind of fabric that's really nice and soft. Cotton fabric is amazing for these kind of backdrops. So you only need about 2 meters, and what you can actually do when you buy the fabric is you can actually cut maybe about that much and then cut it directly across, and then you'll have a matching wrap to go with the fabric. Hope that makes sense. So there you go. So that's how I set up my table, and I'll discuss lighting. So now that we have our little friend here, I can teach you a little bit about lighting. So right now I have my patio sliding door right in front of me. So you can probably see some of the shadowing on the baby's face. So you can see that the shadow is really, really strong right around this section on the face, and it's really strong right about there. So the goal of lighting your baby is to light in a flattering way that you're going to get shadows on one side of the face and a little bit of a highlight or a brightness on the other side of the face. So depending on where your lighting is, you might have to rotate the baby a little bit. So if I rotate this way, you can see that this side has little to no shadows, and there's a lot more shadowing on this side. So that's kind of the ideal lighting. If you can nail your lighting, the photos will look absolutely amazing. So another common lighting mistake that sometimes people can make is to light the baby coming down the nose. So if I put the baby upside down, which you wouldn't normally do, but let's say the lighting was coming this way and you positioned your baby on a prop this way, you can really see that the lighting is being very unflattering. So it's kind of giving the baby, you know, when you shine a flashlight, that's the kind of lighting that it's giving right now. So you're having really harsh shadowing right under the eyes, and newborns tend to have a little bit puffier eyes. So sometimes that's very unflattering to the baby. So again, just kind of rotate the baby. So when the baby, I'll show you later, but when the baby's in a prop, it's a lot easier to just kind of rotate until you see that lighting that you like. So this right here is my ideal type of lighting situation. So you can see today is really not sunny, and I do not get direct light in my house. So that is giving actually a really, really good lighting situation. Sometimes too bright can actually harm your image, because the babies, when you take the photo, the highlighted parts of the face, if it's too bright, will almost look white. So of course you want to see the baby's skin tone, and you don't want them to be white. So yeah, so that's the ideal lighting. Now we're gonna work on wrapping. So right now I have all my wraps around me. You'll notice that I have the baby in my legs. I actually think that this is the most ideal form of wrapping for me, just because I can really control the baby's head. You'll see when I'm doing it, like I'll have my knee up and I can bring my knee down and still control the head, or completely down to get the wrap underneath the baby. So yeah, so you'll see that this is really hard on your back. So if you have just had a cesarean, please do not do this. This is really hard on your back. So you can always do this on a table or whatnot. I'm going to show you how to wrap with intention. You're going to really have to plan out your sets before you even try to immerse baby in this whole experience, because the least amount that you can move your baby, the happier they will be during the session. So if you're going to plan to put an outfit on or anything like that, put the outfit on first, so that when you are doing your photos, you can slowly unwrap the baby, which I will show you. You can slowly unwrap the baby, and they will have they will most likely not wake up as much because they're not being moved around. So at this point, if you're using an outfit, you can choose to have no diaper or diaper, whatever you feel most comfortable with. I personally prefer without diaper, just because the diapers can add some weird lumps into the outfit sometimes. So yeah, so I'm just gonna put this outfit on the baby as if I'm doing a regular newborn session. You don't even have to use an outfit if you don't want to. This baby is a little bit smaller than a typical newborn, so it's a little big on her. But so yeah, so I put this newborn outfit on first, and then think about your setups. Think about the table fabric that you're gonna do. Think about what kind of material do you want with that one. So maybe leave that one for the last wrap. So I'm gonna do a few prop setups, and then I'm gonna do the table last. So I'm gonna do whatever wrap I want for the props first, and then the table wrap last. I hope I hope I'm making sense. So the best way to do a wrap is to focus on having the wrap right at the shoulders, because you want to have as least amount of bulk on the neck as possible. So you're always going to want to have it really nice and snug like that. So let's see how I'm like kind of moving my legs so I can lift the baby up. I'm going to try to pretend like it's a real baby as much as possible. It's a lot easier to just kind of fling this baby around, right? But of course you're going to be dealing with a live baby. So I'm going to try to treat it like such. So I always try to have just enough on this side of the wrap to cover the baby. So I always just kind of slide and then until I can see how much it would take to cover the baby so that I can tuck it underneath their body. So first things first, I really like to focus on the hands first. So you can either choose, I would say it's easier to have the baby's hands completely wrapped versus having, I'm sure you've seen like, you know, some of the babies with their hands on their face or kind of out. It's a lot harder to control the baby if they have control of their hands. So I would highly suggest kind of taking out the hands. So what I like to do is I like to focus on the hands first. So I'm just going to kind of crisscross their little arms until it's in a position that they seem comfortable in. Sometimes the baby will be crying at this point just because they might be a little cold or, you know, sometimes they might just be upset that you're moving them around. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take the little piece of the wrap that I had on the one side and I'm going to flip it over. So when it comes to wrapping, you want the wrap to be really nice and snug because if not, they will wiggle out of it and the wrap will come loose and it just won't look as good in the photos. So you're just going to do what I like to do. If you baby wear, you probably know about the rails. So you're going to do 3 rails. So that kind of tightens everything. So you're just going to go like this. And then you're going to tighten the rails. And then you're going to put it underneath. You're going to tuck it underneath. So when you tuck it, it's not going to be as snug as when you wrapped it. If that makes any sense like that. So see, right there, the baby won't be able to move her arms out now. So it's going to be a lot easier to wrap the rest. So now I have all of this wrap on this side. And then I'm just going to continuously wrap her around. So now you're going to notice the legs are out. So ideally when you're wrapping, you're going to want to crisscross the baby's legs so that once the wrap is all done, it's going to be a nice little, I like to call it like a little potato sack. She's just going to look like a little ball. So if you're to wrap with her legs down, let's say, then in the photos they'll be able to lift their legs up or sideways, or, you know, they'll be able to wiggle around a lot more, and that will lead to some funky shapes of the wrap when you're taking some photos. So try to crisscross their legs into a natural position so that it feels natural to them. Obviously don't force their legs into a position that doesn't seem comfortable with them. Always just kind of play it by ear, see what the baby does. So obviously she has no preference, but so I'm going to do the same thing, but this time focusing on wrapping the legs. So I'm going to wrap the legs. So I'm going to go ahead, wrap this around, same thing, pull the rails, and then now I'm going to wrap this under her bottom. So I'm going to tuck it underneath. And then now I'm going to lift her little bottom up and pull the wrap onto the side. And then the same thing. Now you're just going to continuously wrap them around. You're always going to want to make sure you're keeping everything really nice and snug. So if I were to just wrap her really loosely like that, I mean, it looks okay. It's totally fine for photos, but it's just not a polished look. So if you want it to look as if, you know, wow, I took my child to a newborn photographer, then try to wrap it as tight as you can. If you can't get it, don't stress. Maybe even try it on a stuffed animal or a toy before you attempt to do this on a live baby. Because one thing about babies is they can sense your frustration and they can sense your stress. So if you're getting really anxious about the photo, or if you're feeling really stressed about wrapping them, chances are they might feel that and they might be a little bit more unsettled. So just try to keep calm. It's just for fun. I mean, you're not a newborn photographer, so you can't expect too much out of the photos. So just try to be gentle on yourself, and think of it as being fun, and you know, you're getting to photograph your adorable little new baby. So see how this wrap looks a lot tighter. Normally real babies' legs would go in more. This is a doll, of course. So when you get to the last end bit, I always just tuck it in. So I grab it and then I just tuck it in at the end. So I tuck the wrap in behind them. So then when I was saying earlier is to wrap with intention. So now I have one wrap that I'm going to do last, because you'll see I'm going to take off the wraps as I go throughout the session. So next I'm going to do is a little cheesecloth wrap. These ones are really nice. They can also be tricky because they only stretch one way. So see how it stretches this way and not really this way. So these wraps can be a little bit more trickier. So if you can find another, this is jersey knit. So if you can find any jersey knit materials, those are probably the easiest materials to wrap with. So I'm gonna grab the baby, lift them up, and then same thing for this wrap. I'm gonna adjust it to where I need it. So same thing, because this wrap is not as stretchy, you don't have to, you just gotta pull it. The rails aren't as important in this, but that's okay. And so sometimes the bottom of the wrap is not always gonna look as neat, but the bottom of the wrap is not gonna be photographed. So you don't have to really worry about that in the photograph. When you go to photograph them, you just usually I tend to just tuck it in. So don't worry about getting the bottom perfect. Just focus more on trying to have this part look as polished as possible. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. If you really want it to be perfect, like I said, maybe just practice on a stuffed animal before you do your baby. Because babies wiggle, and you know, at this point, if they were crying when you first started wrapping them, they're usually settled as soon as they're wrapped. Even if your baby doesn't typically like wraps, for some reason, I'll always have parents that come in and say, oh, you know, my baby, it's not really much of a wrap baby, like they don't like to be swaddled. And then I swaddle them and they are completely at peace. So I think, you know, any baby hopefully will enjoy this. Sometimes if they're not enjoying this, it's usually because they'll have gas, or, you know, they're hungry. You know, so just try to make sure that their needs are met before you start wrapping them. So before you start wrapping them, make sure that they're fed, make sure that they're burped, make sure that they're clean, diaper if they're having a diaper on. So just try to make sure that all their needs are met before you wrap them. Just so that you know when you're wrapping them, and if they're being a little bit fussy, they're probably being fussy because you're just kind of moving them around a little bit more than they would like. So you can stop here. You could have 2 wraps if you're only going to do the beanbag, or sorry, I call it the beanbag, but it's my kitchen table now. If you're going to do the kitchen table pose and then one prop pose, you can honestly just stop here. You can do this one. This wrap will be used on the table, and then once you get to the prop, I'll show you, and then you slowly unwrap them while they're in the prop so that they stay asleep, or so that they stay calm at least when you're unwrapping them. So I'm going to do one more just because I'm going to try to show you guys 3 different poses. So I'm going to do one more. So again, this one here, I'm going to show you a different style wrap if you're feeling, you know, if you're feeling adventurous and you want to try something else. I'm going to show you a different style. So this one here again is the same kind of material. It's a jersey knit material, very nice and stretchy. You can probably find this online. I don't know if Amazon sells fabrics or not. I'll look into that. But yeah, wherever you can find fabrics, if you can get them shipped to your house, definitely make sure you wash them beforehand. But yeah, so just try to find the fabrics. So for this wrap, it's going to be a crisscross wrap. This one's my personal favorite. I just love the look at the end of just love the end of the end result of this wrap. So this wrap, the baby is going to be in the middle of the wrap. So in the other wraps, you had the baby kind of more towards the end of one side of the wrap. This wrap is going to be right in the middle. So this baby is going to be right in the middle. And always bring the wrap right to their neck. If you wrap when the wrap is up higher, then see how it's like super bunched up on the sides? It's going to be very bulky on the sides. So always try to have the wrap as close to their neck and shoulders as possible. So this wrap here, I'm going to go, and so this one's actually quite simple. So you're going to do the same thing that you were doing with the other one. So you're just going to crisscross, but instead of crisscrossing and then continuing to wrap around, you're going to take this side as well, and you're also going to crisscross this side. So like that. Oh, my sweater is getting caught in here. So you're going to crisscross like that. And then to secure the crisscross, you're just going to wrap it around. And then you're going to do this, so you're going to wrap it towards the opposite side. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So this one's coming up from this side, and then I'm going to wrap it this way. I'm going to wrap it so that it comes out this way. And then the last wrap around, depending on your baby, you might have to wrap 2 or 3 times, and depending on how long your wrap is. This one's actually not as long as I would like, but I just wanted to show you the wrap anyways. So this one here, I'm going to grab the wrap and bring it up to the shoulder again, and I'm going to bring it down. And then again, you're going to always want to tighten it as much as possible. And then again, so see how I'm tucking it underneath so that it stays nice and snug. And then same thing. And this one here, sometimes if you can go around multiple times, you'll get multiple little crisscrosses going down. So I like that. So then you have that, and then you have the little V right on the chest there, and I find that that one's super cute. And then at this point, you can add a little bonnet if you have a boy. I find bonnets are super cute on little boys, so you can always have a little bonnet. I personally like to have a bow coming off to the side, like that. So yeah, so you can have a little bonnet on a baby boy or a baby girl, whatever you prefer. And then I have these little headbands here. Fluffs go everywhere with all my props. So you can put little fluffs on baby, like that. I personally like my headbands a little bit to the side, but if you like them in the middle or off to the other side, it's entirely up to your preference. And you have this one. So hopefully I'll be able to find a few links for for some headbands that you can purchase, or you can, if you're really crafty, you can even make them yourself. So, or if you have some, I know if you have a little girl, there's chances are you probably have a few headbands. So try that, and then that's how you wrap.